we're in the lead group, okay? But we're on the same team.
Okay.
And you know what? I actually want to go back and slow down the people who are pursuing us.
Okay.
I want to take them by surprise.
Yeah, okay, riding.
So look at this. I head just straight into the outback here. And then watch this. Okay, now. Here we go. Here's my fear with this, with having me on this.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the cafe ride for a long time. Watching some of my heroes, candidly talking to you, eating cake. And now you've just got some dude on it. They're just going to be people like, what has happened? Not just I preferred the early work, but just this lump has ruined it.
Why is it? It's come to this, guys.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I had to think this through. It's been over 30 years since I've been here to Dublin, but I'm back for a very special cafe ride with a guest who loves cycling, but has never really properly been involved in sport. And I'm walking to his house now. As well as being a very funny stand-up comic, did win the Edinburgh Fringe. He's been on 8 out of 10 Cats, he's been on Countdown, and he's also been on Mastermind, where his chosen subject was the history of the Tour de France. He really is a cycling fanatic. What on earth? Oh, I can see what's happened here. He's bent it, or somebody's bent it with a foot. I've just straightened it up. Probably be fine. I've got it working again. David, how are you, mate?
Thank you for coming to visit me.
No worries, no worries.
I'm
loving your look.
going to say that when you have done any of these in the past, say Pogacar, doubt he was up till 2 a.m. riding up and down this road trying to stop cantilever brakes from squeaking, and then got up at 8 this morning to work on it again.
Blimey.
I've just built a bike.
You're rocking that look though, but no, to answer your question, no, he didn't. He wasn't doing that at all. Right, adding another bike. Come on.
So this is the stupidity.
Just put that there.
My bicycle obsession. So this is like maybe a 1996 frame.
Yep.
And then I put modern group set on it. It's got the old record or the new one. But then I just didn't like the calipers, so I put on.
You put on deltas. What generation deltas are these?
The last generation.
Generation 3 or 4.
They are, they're 4. And people will mock them for their stopping power.
But the stopping power of the final iteration isn't bad. The first ones were like sponge.
Yes.
Because they've got more actuation points in there, haven't they? There you go, look
at that.
So they basically, if you just see there, lads, it's like 1, 2, 3, like different points of actuation. Previously, they had one pivot point in the middle, and that meant that it was really spongy. But with that extra actuation, or whatever you want to call it, there's a lot more stopping power there, isn't there?
I love the over-engineering of it.
Don't they look gorgeous?
Oh my goodness.
They're pieces of art. Well, that is a beautiful machine. Beautiful machine.
And then there's just, so I'd be away on tour a lot.
So this feels like a hybrid type of concoction.
Because the ride that we're going to do today, Matt, is my favourite ride in the world.
Okay.
And I've just got to the point now where I just build bikes specifically for this ride. For that ride. For different experiences, because it's, I mean, obviously it's semi-off-road a little bit. It's some sort of, so I wanted a Campag Italian, because it's Italian frame. Because like when I rode for a team when I was 14.
What was the team called?
Orwell Wheelers, Roach's old club in Dublin. It was 42.52.
Yes.
And then 12.18 or maybe 12.21.
Yep.
And I mean, I guess the climbing style then was to throw yourself back and forward.
You had to just to turn it over, didn't you?
Yeah.
That's it. It was just graunching.
Someone realized in about 1996 let's try easier gear.
Yeah, let's take that from mountain biking and have a triple chain sit on the front.
Do you reckon that's what it was?
I think it might have been.
Yeah.
I think it must have been.
I love this cycle because where we're about to go, it feels like the country, and yet it's right in the centre of Dublin.
So it's like a sort of urban countryside.
Yeah,
for want of a better
it does
word.
something good for your brain, I think, to get out of this into...
And to have that so near to your house as well, and we'll go into that in a bit more detail, is even more important, isn't it? Jazz has been a big part of your life.
Yeah.
Your father, a preeminent jazz musician, and that's one of his gig posters, isn't it?
Yeah, that's his gig from the 60s, Martello Roof there.
That's so cool.
That's my Walkman. So when was the last time I listened to a cassette Walkman? Probably about 96, but still works fine.
That's beautiful,
So rather than just put it in a box in the attic, I thought, let's commemorate
They
it.
are things of beauty, aren't they?
Yeah. I worked for about 3 weeks at a spar shop to just buy that. This is one of the biggest gigs that we ever did, which was Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado, which is where U2 recorded Under a Blood Red Sky. Like, it's a natural valley. I think it's a big mountain biking.
I raced in '95 on the part of the kind of acclimatization and the warm up for the World Championships that year. We stayed in Colorado, and we raced around Red Rocks. Wow. Yeah.
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 Because you're at altitude as well.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
it's the only place ever where I've come off stage and been offered oxygen.
By the way, did you know that 75% of the people that watch our YouTube Cafe Ride videos haven't subscribed to the channel? Make sure you're not one of the 75%. If you do that, you'll change fundamentally that number. And also, you'll help us out a lot. And also, you won't miss another episode.
I mean, I love bikes, but I do love weird old pianos as well. And so this would be, you would recognize this from certain... Or yeah, that's a good one. That's a Wurlitzer Stage 200, I think it's called. That's.
That just.
What do you want to do?
The piece of music it's got is Careless Whisper by Sir George of Michael. Went to my school.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah, he lived in Bushy.
I mean, come on, this is a duet. Is this going to affect your copyright?
No, we'll be fine. I mean, it's fair use, isn't it?
Tonight the music seems so loud.
We could lose this crowd, baby. Let's put it this way. We love each other, what the things we want to say.
We almost have a harmony there. Oh my goodness!
Please stay.
Okay, so that was there. I think we've mastered
that wasn't rehearsed.
So he was in your school.
Yeah, a little bit older than me, but went to the same school. Yeah.
Did he ever call in?
I only saw him from he was older than me, so we're in a different year. But not yet. I used to see him around town, him and Andrew, in their white jeans, back in like '83, before they made it big, which was the name of one of their albums, wasn't it?
So I used to think when the shed filled with bikes, I was like, well, there's no more room for bikes.
Yeah.
Then I realised you actually put bikes around your house.
Yes, in places where you normally wouldn't put bikes.
I know, Matt, but it's getting to... So there's
another one there.
This is my office. See, this is where I feel... Look, these are future projects. Sorry, not that.
I'll just take that. I'll just put
That's
that on my feet.
That's if you win Richard Osman's House of Games, you win a Richard Osman stress doll. So that's what that is. This was my lockdown project. It's a part-for-part rebuild of Roach's 87 Tour de France winning bike.
This is a seriously beautiful bike.
Someone put the 87 Tour on YouTube.
Okay.
Night by night. The
Blimey.
Richard Keys coverage of
Right,
it.
yeah.
So I got right back into it. And then I don't know why, I started looking up parts. And then do you know the wildest part is, so I wanted a frame.
Yeah.
I had alerts set up, and a guy in South Africa was selling this. And then I saw this, like a number hanger on it, right here. So I was like, oh my God, I think this could be a team frame.
Yeah.
And then it's got the number under there. So I used Google Italian English Translate and emailed the Badiglan factory, and Alex Badiglan, the son, got back to me, and he said it's an 87 team frame. And he said he didn't know what rider it belonged to. Like, it wouldn't be Roach, because Roach was a 56 frame or
right. Okay.
So this is a 58 or 59. So looking at pictures, like Urs Zimmerman,
who
was one of the guys.
It could be, because he was third in the '86 tour, wasn't he? But
right.
He would have been in '87 with Carrera.
Yeah.
Swiss champion. Yeah.
So my entry to cycling, certainly to road racing, is the '87 tour.
Yeah.
And the fact that this bike probably was in it, that'll do me. Yeah, this is where we're going. This is a picture by my neighbour, who is Conor O'Brien, who's best known as Villagers, been nominated for the Mercury and whatnot, musician. I used to go, in the pandemic, I used to go to the Phoenix Park every day for a cycle and cycle to the same tree. And he did this picture of me as a shark. I enjoy fish and sharks. So Sunrise, Phoenix Park, November 2020. And this is a landmark in the Phoenix Park that we're going to see. See, the world is on fire, but still.
But you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, here's to a brighter 2021. I built a bike for us to cycle on today.
Right, should we do an unveiling? We're here to unveil this very, very special steed, designed exclusively for today's event.
Yeah, and built last night.
Built last night into the wee early hours. Let's have a look at it.
It's one of the weirdest bikes.
Whoa!
I know. I found this frame on the internet a few weeks ago.
Is it a telecom issue? Or it's just the colour.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, look.
Just for the cafe ride, this bike.
Yeah. I've just put it together. So I can't figure out. Like, this would imply it's for a giant.
That's big, isn't
But then this is lowered, so it actually fits fine.
And you've got a Giro d'Italia seat on there as well.
Yeah, I put a few little mod cons on it. I'll tell you why I built this bike for this very day.
Tell me.
Well, because in the past we've had incidents.
Yes.
So this was...
I remember you messaged me, maybe the day it happened.
Yeah.
And it might have been the first time you ever got in contact with me, just weirdly, you DM'd me on Twitter.
I felt I needed to tell someone about
it. Yeah, and then it's just a picture of you with a broken bike.
So it just sheared, and that is one of the sharpest edges that mankind has ever known.
Yeah.
And so, it was like a Laurel and Hardy. I was cycling like this, and then sort of trying to hold it together, and luckily I wasn't going very fast, but... Yeah, there's a danger to old aluminium.
Yeah.
Imagine if this cafe ride ended with you searching for my balls in the Phoenix Park, having been fully deballed.
Imagine the legal issues as well. I mean, there's the medical and the legal issues.
It would probably get a lot of views.
It would get a hell of a lot of views.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want to ride that one then? Should we just... For my trip to Dublin, I've chosen this fetching universal colours mono and chroma kit pairing with Quoc road shoes and a Met Trenta helmet. My choice of bike is the do-it-all Specialized Roubaix SL8, and you can get everything from sigmasports.com or by popping into one of our stores.
Imagine if it turned out now that I can't cycle. Wouldn't that just be so funny? That I just have all these bikes and then, yeah.
Well, let's put that to the test. Let's get some clothes on.
Let's do it.
And do it.
The reason I'm so happy that you're here is because in our only previous meeting in Dublin,
yes,
which was the 1990 Nissan Classic,
yes, indeed,
where you were in it and I was shouting. I mean, we don't know that we met,
but we were definitely there, weren't we? We were there. Yeah.
And someone stole your Team GB cap.
Yes.
I mean, so I just want to make it up for you. I want you to have a special day in Dublin to show you that we're not all hat thieves.
You're not.
Did you ever ride through a hen house and come out with chickens attached to it?
Oh, all the time. All the time. My speciality was fruit stalls. Yeah. This feels Dublin-y.
Yeah, this is...
Are we hitting some pave? How does the bike feel on the pave?
Well, I'm fine with this. Look, if there was a bike designed for
and those forks as well. Look at a rake on those forks. The tyres are right. You wanted to accelerate further.
I'm going to make up some time here. It would be a big change, but if it wasn't the cafe ride and instead the stout ride, where we just ride around different pubs.
That would be lovely. Maybe we could do that as a sequel.
Yeah.
Or it's still possible, but that's a big, big gate.
Do you get the smell, the hops?
It's subtle. It's in the air though.
I've never tried one myself, but I hear it's delicious.
Yeah, I've heard only good things about it, especially it being drunk in Dublin. Maybe we'll finish off the ride with a swift one. Do you speak any Gaelic?
I do.
And can you?
Shrod is street, but like what's interesting about Irish to English is a lot of the time an English person just heard what it was in Irish and said, "Oh, it's called that now."
Right.
So we're going to the Phoenix Park right now, which means nothing in Irish, but the Irish name for it is Fionn Uisce, which means clear water.
Okay.
So the springs in the park, and at some point someone went, Fionn Uisce, Phoenix. That'll do, yep. And that's why it's called the Phoenix Park.
Flipping heck. Yeah. Here we go. Let's do this. You're going to give it one of your big nudges straight off the bat. I'm impressed. He's gone. He's off. That was a big boost.
What was your greatest ever poo?
My greatest ever poo was in the World Championships in 1997. Where was it? It was when Lauren Brochard won San Sebastian Worlds.
Wow.
I basically was so desperate for a poo that there was nowhere to go because it was all barriered off.
Yeah.
So I pulled over on the circuit, all the barriers, lots of crowd, and did a turd in the middle of the road. And it was basically I did it. I got a sponge from the car to wipe my bum.
Oh my God.
Stuck it in the big pile of poo like a flake. Oh. And then I pulled up my bibs after I wiped my bum, and I got a round of applause from the crowd. That's the best ever poo I've ever done in my life.
See this face? I don't even know what face to do.
There's not. I don't think there's a face for it.
It's just like a part of me is happy for you, but holy moly!
You're kind of like, yeah, you've got yourself in. You've still got to continue with the rest of the cafe road. That's okay.
Oh, here we go. Here's a bit of time travel.
Hey, mate.
All right, man. My favourite poo in the history of cycling.
Oh yeah.
Is it Tom Boonen in the Giro?
Oh, Tom de Poulan. Tom de Moulin.
And where I think he's in pink. And
yes.
He pulls over and they think it's a mechanical, so the camera zooms in on him and you just see him pulling his bib off and there's this crash edit out.
Yeah.
Like, no! The Phoenix Park.
Get your gear out. Here we go. Phoenix Park, baby.
Through the gates.
Oh, straight into a headwind.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would ride up here every day in the pandemic.
Right.
Because it's there was a 5K
radius
of movement, and this was just inside mine. And my thing would be I would just ride till I found the deer.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. So some days you'd end up doing 30K, like ridiculously trying to chase deer around a park, and other days you'd get to the entrance and they'd be there.
So that was your objective, and that give you a sense of purpose, I guess, without being silly. I mean, because they were strange times, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, we all found different senses of purpose.
We need random goals, and mine would be spotting deer. I don't know why you're putting on more layers. It's really warm. It's a balmy day.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to talk up the city. I'm sorry about the hat.
It's a great city. I think I'm the problem, not Dublin.
I think you're still angry because someone stole your hat in 1990.
There's residual anger, but we can work through it.
We've had the tang of Guinness in the air. We had the burnt hops.
Yep.
You'll notice another tang in the air now.
I can smell.
What are you gonna?
I can. It's waste material. It's excretion, isn't it? It's animal excretion.
It's elephant poo.
Yeah.
Because this is the back of the zoo, and this is a spot that I like to go to because it's I think of it as backstage at the zoo.
Backstage at the zoo.
Yeah.
VIP.
Look at the trust I have in this bike now.
It's just gone completely and utterly rogue. Left me stranded.
I'm trying to get some free zoo.
Seen any animals doing strange things on the day off?
Just me.
Oh, just you.
I'm the only strange animal around here. But you get the sense, it's like we've paid in, but yet we haven't.
This is what a lot of people would never see or even think about seeing, is it? I mean, let's be honest, the visibility is limited, but if you let your imagination run wild, can't you? You can...
I told you I'd show you the sights of this town.
Oh, it's amazing. It's a great bit of fence work as well, isn't it? And then a bush and then another fence.
And then through the grass.
Transition. To the cat.
Here's my fear with this,
yes.
and with having me on this.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed the cafe ride for a long time. Watching some of my heroes, candidly talking to you, eating cake. And now you've just got some dude on it. I'm scared of the comments under this. They're just going to be people like, what has happened? Not just I prefer the early work, but just this lump has ruined it.
Why is it? What? It's come to this, guys.
Yeah, the fact that you've now got a guy on with the sellotape.
Yeah, I mean, we're at a zoo, so I can say elephant in the room. You know, the thing is, you're good at MacGyvering stuff, aren't you?
Yeah.
You kind of you're good at sorting out situations, bodging stuff. What happened here? Because that is sellotape, and it's actually you've got man sweat on the inside. You can see the condensation on the inside of the sellotape. So
a lot of DNA in there.
So what's happened there?
Well, I think probably the last time I wore these, I didn't unzip them fully and just yanked them off to get into the shower. I think maybe it was a wet day.
Yeah.
And because they're quite cheap, they ripped here.
Yeah.
So then I thought I'd get away with it by gaffer taping on the inside. But then all I did was gaffer tape my hairy legs. And I think it's a neat job. I mean, it's a clear sellotape.
Thing is, it's worked.
But
it's a cafe ride first as well. I've never seen any of our guests sellotape and repair their cycling kit on the go. Since we've been in communication and did the pod, I thought we've got to get you on here. It's mostly pros, but even the pro, they love the bikes, and I think this series is sharing with people the beauty of cycling, in whatever form that might take. And your love is a genuine one that goes back a very, very long time. And because we're a similar age, and obviously we grew up in different countries, but our childhoods and the people that we look to for inspiration within this sport were people we shared it. We share so much, so it just felt right. And I'm a big fan of comedy. I'm a big fan of yours, mate. And when we went to see it at the Edinburgh Fringe last year, oh my God, I basically weed myself. Is that a good barometer of comedy? People urinating.
I'm going to say in any other industry it wouldn't be good.
No. Okay.
You know what I mean? But in comedy, I take it as a compliment. Yeah. The wildest fact about this, for me, this park, is the Pope came to Ireland in 1979.
Yes.
And by some estimates, half the population of the island stood in a field over there to see the Pope. Like, in a nation that had 3 million people.
They had the Pope Mobile and that back then, didn't they? And I remember that was on the front of the newspapers back home and everything. Yeah, I remember it even as a kid.
Ireland was so into the Pope. And, I mean, Ireland has changed a lot. So that the Pope, the next Pope, or the last Pope, came here just in 2019. And let's just say the numbers weren't quite the same. Yeah, it was, but came back to the same spot.
Right.
I suspect thinking, oh yeah, we'll get 1 million at this.
Yeah.
And no, not so much.
Recently, we touched on it with that painting that the sketch that your friend did. Of you as a basking shark on a bike, riding away from this weird, like the rest of the world is burning. But this became a place that, without understating it, massively important for you during lockdown, didn't it? Because we all found a way, didn't we, or as best we could, to cope with that. But this place is particularly important to you, isn't it?
It really is, yeah. I mean, it's also the fact that I probably came here 200 or 300 times over the course of those 2 years, and I don't think I ever came the same way twice.
Okay.
Just because of the network of crisscross of roads you can enter from any one of about 8 different entrances. And so you'd always discover something new, which is where the gravel bike thing came in, or the old cyclocross bikes. Because sometimes I'd ride a race bike up here, but because I am a kid, part of me is like, I'd love to ride up there now, but I can't do it because I've got these 25mm tires and zero clearance. So then I started just building these bikes, kind of with the sole purpose of I can go anywhere in this park now. I mean, because there was a period for me doing stand-up comedy.
It would have just stopped all of a sudden.
Yeah, it stopped like that, and then because the nature of laughter is the transfer of air, it was never going to come back. Like, it was the last thing that was ever going to come back. There were definitely points where this ain't coming, like, this is never going to happen again.
How did you cope with that then? Because that's who you are, isn't it? It's what you're known for, you know, as well as your music, but they are part and parcel of the same thing for you, aren't they?
25 years of it. So I write for kids is the other thing that I do, so I would do some of that. Fixing bikes really came into its own then, because there was definitely a boom in cycling. So a lot of people on my road and on the roads around where I live, they knew that I knew a little bit about bikes, and then these bikes would appear.
So you'd end up fixing people's bikes during lockdown.
I fixed, I'd say 40 bikes.
Seriously?
Yeah. Tony, my neighbour, was a magician. He was 90, and he was still working up until the pandemic.
Bloody hell, right.
Yeah, and that first summer, he said he had a bike that he wanted me to fix up. And he was 90, and so, I mean, sure. And he took me into his back garden, and he had a bike called a Rally Lenton Sport.
That sounds old.
Which is, it's. I looked it up. It's like one of the first cycling for sport bikes. It had been sitting under a tarp in his back garden for 20 years. The wheels had dissolved.
Oh God, right.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I mean, with the help of eBay, I found wheels and tires.
So you threw yourself into this bike for this chap. That's really, what a generous. You obviously, what a generous spirit. I mean, that's.
So he passed away then. He passed away in the autumn. No, it was beautiful.
While you still had the bike.
So I got to show it to him, and because the autumn was coming in, he said, "Will you hang on to it till the spring, and I'll ride it in the spring?" Which I thought, okay, that's fine. And then the hearse drove up the road, and I took the bike out, and me and the bike stood outside the house as he went by. And a couple of months later, I gave it to one of his nieces.
Right.
So she rides it to college now.
Oh, that's lovely. So you must feel quite proud when you kind of rebuild bikes and give them a second. Because a lot of bikes, once they're almost like single use, they fall into disrepair.
Yeah.
And then, as you say, there's a point where there's almost a point of no return.
Yeah.
But if you can bring something back to its full, even if an element of its former glory, it's kind of wonderful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's why I love those chaotic bikes in my house, which have a bit of something and a bit of something else.
You know, when probably a friend of yours or somebody you probably went to school with nicked my hat in the Nissan. Well, I've got a little bit of a gift for you.
Oh my goodness!
I've had a rummage around in one of my kit bags to say thank you for coming on the cafe ride, and also for doing what you do, because you know, making people smile, I think, is the medicine we all need. So I've got two things for you. First off, this is Johan Museo's actual Mapai cap. So he gave, well, actually, weird, because I actually stole it from him at the Worlds, and he said, this is one of my vintage hats. We were on stage on Zwift, and I nicked it and kept it. But now if I pass it to you, it's technically still stolen, so you can have that.
So much fencing of stolen goods in this episode.
So that is actually Johan's, one of his ones. I mean, that's actually one of his, so you can have that. You wear it well, sir.
Wow.
They're nice,
it's my size.
It's your, yeah. And then, this is the only one I have.
What?
So
you are joking me.
So Adidas as well. Fur. This is my best amateur rider on the Nissan Classic when I was 19. And I wore that on the podium with Kelly.
Wow, I've seen that picture of
yeah,
you.
And I wanted to...
No.
You were there one of those years, so you can... Because I know that you probably look after it better than I could.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
That's all right. We all love our sport, but I don't think I've met many people who properly love our sport.
Well,
and I think,
I mean, this is huge. I mean, and I hope this doesn't seem trivial, but I did feel bad that your hat was stolen. So I made you a new Team GB.
It's almost like I'm looking at the real thing as well. And with the world's bands as well on it. I'm going to put that on. That is absolutely diamond.
Yeah.
Oh, look at us.
Yeah.
All happy, giving each other gifts. Cheers, mate. That's lovely.
Oh my goodness.
It's old school. There you go. So yeah. What a day.
Look at this. This is why I come here. We're lost in the Phoenix Park.
We're lost in Phoenix Park. You were saying earlier on, if it wasn't for that person just walking by in a contemporary tracksuit, the tarmac.
This could be 1600.
It could be 1640.
You and I could be out with our bows and arrows to try and kill a wild boar for a feast.
And you were saying that we're probably heading to Lincoln as well.
Although
that's in England, it doesn't matter, does it? It's that kind of Robin of Sherwood feel.
Look, if we can time travel, then travelling to Lincoln is no problem, I feel.
No problem at all. Have you guys seen the deer?
Has anyone seen a deer?
Over that way, thank you.
Over that way?
That way.
I mean, there's 1,700.
Towards Lincoln. We head towards Lincoln.
He's gone 90s. Look at his 90s body shape.
David, where are we going now?
I've had enough of tarmacadam. We're going to put these tyres and those slightly more slick tyres to the test right now.
To the test.
We're going off-road to a place where no one has ever tried to cycle before on a sort of foresty path. Is this cyclocrossy?
This is cyclocrossy. This is, what's the word? I said loam earlier on.
Yeah.
And it's not that. It's like compressed vegetable matter, isn't it?
Yeah.
Leaves.
Compost.
Leaves. This is, we're going compost.
Well, I feel gravel bike does sound cooler than compost bike.
It does, compost. I've just got roots situation. Jesus.
Oh no.
Jesus.
I mean, I think I can, I'm going to skid a little bit.
Go for it. Go for a smoky skid. That was good. That was a proper drift. Whoa, that's a Doherty drift.
Fired it out.
That was a bloody hell. This is sector 2, and each one's named. How many étoiles stars would this sector have?
This is all out of category. That's what I would call this.
All sector of loam and vegetable matter.
And then I'm going to show you another of my tricks here. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're in the lead group, okay, but we're on the same team.
Okay.
And you know what? I actually want to go back and slow down the people who are pursuing us.
Okay, so that's an interesting tactic.
Yeah. Tactically, I come up with a lot of stuff like this.
No, I like it. You're thinking outside the box.
Okay.
Disruptive thinking.
So watch this. So we're riding.
Yeah,
we're riding. I want to take them by surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Riding.
So look at this. I head just straight into the outback here, and then watch this. Here we go.
Oh, it's just a hand. Oh no. You're right.
Yeah.
Was that real?
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to happen, was it?
I hit a log.
Was that actually? I thought that was a stunt crash. Oh no. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it is a very...
You did actually.
Yeah, I hit it full on.
Right, you hit that log. Did you capture it?
Do you know the only thing that saved me? I was about to disappear off into the underground.
I know, flipping heck.
But then, luckily...
I thought we'd lost you briefly.
I mean...
Oh! Oh no! Look at the grass! Need a close-up of that. Oh, mate.
I think we can bring it back.
Have you done the system? Oh.
That is so strong.
We need a systems check. No, I'm actually quite a lot of upper body. So we were in the breakaway, weren't we? And your tactic was to basically...
I was going to slow up the
chasing group.
Yeah. So I decided I was going to hide in the long grass. And so I just headed off blindly into this, hit a log, and
when I just disappeared
absolutely. I haven't gone over handlebars like that now in some
Because
time.
I thought you were doing your own, like a stunt.
I would be a clowning genius if I...
a very, very realistic stunt, and it was, yeah.
Now this would be cool. Imagine if I said, check this out, and just rode, maybe with like a thumb up.
Yeah, that would have been, would have just like ended it there.
You were mocking me for eating all of that muffin earlier, but now...
I wish I'd had a bit.
My muffin gels.
Imagine a muffin gel. I like they're doing muffin gels. If you were given free license to invent a gel, what would it be?
He's breaking this.
Nice. It's like watching Kelly. It's like I'm with Kelly.
The Phoenix Park is the traditional home of cyclocross in Dublin. And my single favourite photo in all of Irish cycling is from the St. Stephen's day after Christmas cyclocross race in 1981. And it's Roach and it's Kimmage.
Yeah.
And they're racing somewhere around here. I've been searching for the tree for years. It's very like this tree.
Okay.
And seeing as I have you here, could we recreate... Okay, look.
Yeah. Have you got a photo?
Yeah. So
blimey, there it is.
Yeah. So I mean, they're traveling at quite a clip here, I dare say.
Quite a high speed, isn't it?
How about we just lean into each other?
Should we? I think we could do that.
So we'll just lean on each other, but hopefully the guys in post can make it look like something incredible.
Yeah. I mean,
you can sort that, you guys.
Okay.
Right?
Let's go and just configure.
Okay.
Over here. Right. Okay. So.
Okay. This is how they did it in 1981, right?
So basically.
So I'm slightly in front of
you. You put your hand on your bar now. On your bars.
Really?
Yeah.
Am I going to stay up?
Honestly, yeah, you will. You'll stay up.
I'm not going to stay up.
You will. Like, come into me.
Oh yeah. Oh,
right.
okay.
So
Yeah. This would be the slowest crash I've ever been involved in.
So put your hands on your bars briefly, and then we've got it on your bar.
How the heck do I?
3, 2, 1.
Oh, okay, go. No notes. 10 out of 10.
Kimmage and Roach would be proud, wouldn't they?
Is this video just repeatedly me falling over? Is that why you've lured me here?
I'll tell you what, the lay of the land, this land's not straight.
Let's find a deer and go get a pint of Guinness.
Onwards to Lincoln. I'm looking keenly, and I'm not saying my eyesight is the best it's ever been, but can you see any roving shoals of deer?
A murder of deer?
Yeah, a murder of deer. A conglomerate. Where?
Oh my God!
They're there! The deer! I mean, how close can you get these days to deer?
I have fallen off so many times on this. I think I've fallen off today more than maybe in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, there's been multiple falls, isn't there?
So these are Santa's actual reindeer.
Blimey.
Yeah. This is where they hang out for the rest of the year.
And will they go into the Wicklow Hills for altitude training ahead of Christmas as well?
That's it. The ultimate altitude is, of course, they learn to fly then as well.
Bloody hell, I mean, what a future. And they've got it all in front of them as well, and that's beautiful, isn't it? Well, there's the big cross.
I said it was a big cross.
It's massive, isn't it?
It's the biggest cross certainly around here.
It certainly is, isn't it? I mean, thank you so much, David, for taking me on this wonderful tour, essentially through time and space briefly. I've never ridden on so many surfaces in one day. It's been amazing, but no, it's been a privilege.
Well, I'm happy that this held together.
It did.
This held together. This held together.
Somehow we've held together. A combined age of over 100 years.
Yeah.
We've held together. I owe you a pint. Should we go and have a Guinness?
Yeah, I know there's a factory down here. Where
I'm sure we'll pick one up.
We'll find somewhere that serves it.
We will, definitely. Somebody's left their bike. It's quite nice.
We could steal it.
Should we nick it? I'll jump on.
Oh, shit. To Dublin!
To Lincoln! I bought some new trainers and they're really comfy, but I've got cycling socks underneath, and I've sweated quite a lot in them, so they're creating like suction. So it's almost like I've got wet feet. One of the many unique things about Dublin, as you can see, if you just look, horse there, right outside the Insomnia coffee shop, coffee to go via horse and cart. It's quite commonplace, and actually there's a lot of orders being racked up, another cart just behind, and that gentleman there warming up as well, which is key to delivering on time and in a prompt fashion.